Welcome to Outlook and Calendar Level 2. We're going to spend some time going through the settings today. So if you haven't already, open up your email, and at the top you're going to find the settings wheel. So these are the most basic settings. This is our theme. You're welcome to change this if there's something else you'd like to see at the top. There are others to view if you'd like to see what else is out there. Dark mode can be toggled on or off. Dark mode makes it easier to read information in low light situations. We discussed focused inbox in level 1. Desktop notifications can be turned on if you would like to receive a push notification in the bottom right-hand corner when you receive an email. Display density changes the way that you view received emails. Full is large, like on the left. Medium makes things a little smaller. Compact makes them even smaller. I tend to keep mine at full because I like a preview of the message, but you can make whatever choice works best for you. Conversation view changes how you will see emails in a set. If you select newest message on top, that means that all the previous messages shared with one person with that subject line will be down below the newest message received. If you'd like the newest message at the bottom, that means that all the messages previously shared will be above it. You can turn that off and they'll not group themselves together. Your reading pane is where you see the actual email when you open it up. Currently it's set to show on right. You can change it to show on bottom, or you can hide the reading pane altogether. I tend to keep mine on the right. Those are our general settings. We're going to go down to the bottom and select View All Outlook Settings for a deeper look at what's available. So the first thing that you'll see is Layout. Everything in the Layout section is as follows. Your focused inbox setting is here again. You can change your message height, full, medium, or compact, like what we looked at previously. Message organization, so you can have your conversations grouped. You can show them as individual messages, and you can choose where you want them to appear. You can make the choice to see deleted items in your list. I typically turn off my deleted items. Once you've made a change to any of these settings, you'll see that Save and Discard appear at the bottom. Make sure you save your settings before moving on to the next page. Sender image, do you want to see the picture or the person's initials or nothing? Your reading pane, we looked at that previously. You can choose what you want to do after you've deleted an item. You can automatically open the next item, the previous item, or just return to the message list. You can choose how messages are opened when you very first sign in. You can choose how you want your messages to be displayed. Do you want to know who sent the message first, or do you want to know what the message is about first? Message preview, I like to have the first line present, so I leave preview on. Inline previews would include attachments in a preview. I typically keep this turned off. It just makes the inbox a little more streamlined. And then finally in this section, we have date headers. Do you want to know when the message was sent, or would you prefer not to know? So once you've made all the changes for layout, I'm going to suggest we save, and then we can move on to the next category. We went through compose and reply in level 1. There's not a whole lot extra here that wasn't addressed then, but if you will scroll down almost to the bottom, you'll see undo send. You can change how long you have before your message goes out for up to 10 seconds. If you forget an attachment or you realize you've made a mistake within that window, you're able to stop the sending of your message. There's also joyful animations. If somebody sends the word congratulations, you can click on it and it'll shoot confetti. You can turn that on or off depending on what you'd like. Quick suggestions. If somebody sends a message and it's got a question in it, Outlook will auto-suggest some potential replies. And then at the bottom, suggested replies. Another way to give a quick suggestion, Outlook just tries to make it a little easier to reply to emails. The next category is attachments. This is going to explain how you want things attached when you send them in an email each time. So you can be asked how you'd like to attach. You can always share them as OneDrive links, or you can always share them as copies. If you're sharing attachments as a OneDrive link, you're giving people access to your original document. If you share them as copies, that means that everybody will get their own copy. For files I choose from OneDrive, you can be asked how you want to share. Remember, you have the choice to share from OneDrive links, which means that you'll be giving people access to your original documents, or to share as a copy where they'll each receive their own copy. You have the same choices for sharing from group files. Just remember to talk to your team when you're sharing files that belong to everyone in your team. There's a little toggle that says, warn me when I send a message that may be missing an attachment. This has been a really useful feature for me Several times it's caught me when I've forgotten to attach something, but I've directed the recipient that I have an attachment. Underneath that is your storage account options. You're currently connected to Sulphur Springs Independent School District. If you have a Microsoft account of your own or another place you'd like to upload documents from, you can link those here by clicking these icons. The next category is rules. In rules, you're able to add a rule. Essentially what's happening here is this gives you the opportunity to sort your inbox a little more effectively. So if you get a lot of spam email from a company, but you're not quite ready to opt out or unsubscribe from that mailing list, you can label it and you can add a condition. So if it is from someone specific, you can select from and then type the email of the person that you're getting too much information from. Then you can add an action. You can have it moved to a specific folder if you'd like. You can have these items specifically deleted, archived, or whatever you need to have done with them. Rules are an easy way to sort messages, but just make sure you don't forget about them when you tuck them away in another folder. The next category is Sweep. This is where you can see all of the rules you've set up and have them push to run all at once. Maybe a few emails have gotten through. You can have Outlook clean your inbox out for you quickly this way. Next up is junk mail. To block senders or select safe senders. If you get a lot of emails from a company that you don't want to do business with anymore, but you can't quite figure out how to unsubscribe to that mailing list, you can add them to your blocked senders and it will automatically filter everything out. A little lower, you have safe senders. If you keep getting emails from somebody that you definitely need to talk to, but they keep winding up in your junk, this is where you would go add that email. Down at the bottom, you can make some filter selections, trust emails from my contacts, trust emails from my address, things like that, and then how you want to report junk emails. The next category is customizing your actions. Your actions appear on an email at the top right. This is the standard: delete, pin, mark as unread, or flagged. You can add the archive option. If you delete something, it goes to your trash bin that is automatically emptied out every few days. If you archive something, it will remove it from your inbox, but rather than deleting it after a certain period of time, it's waiting for you in a separate folder. You don't have to look at it, but you know that it's not going to be deleted. Next up is your message surface. What things do you want to see when you open the message full format? There are lots of options here. Just depends on what you need. And then your last customizable action is your toolbar. It's down by your send or discard. You can add in all kinds of options here as well, based on your specific needs. Don't forget to save any changes you make before moving on to the next page. In message handling, you have several options. The first is what's going to happen to your deleted folder every time you sign out. If you select that button every time you sign out, your folder will be emptied. Next up is mark as read. When you select an email, you're choosing how you want it to be displayed after you've had it open for a certain amount of time. Next is read receipt. This is determining how you want to be alerted if you send a message that includes a read receipt. And then last in this category is translation. You can decide if you want messages always translated, if you'd like to be asked, or never translate. You can choose your primary language, so what it would be translated into, or if there's a language that you specifically don't want messages translated into, you can select that as well. The next category is forwarding. In forwarding, you can make the selection to have all of your emails sent to another account. This allows you to send all the emails coming to this email to another email address. Next up is automatic replies. If you turn on automatic replies, you're going to get the option to put a message in here. If you know you're going to be out of the office on vacation and you won't be checking your email, this is a great way to make sure that everybody knows when you'll get back with them. You have two options here. You can have automatic replies sent to people inside your organization, outside of your organization, or both. It's up to you how you want to respond to people in both categories. Retention policies allows you to determine how long information is going to be stored in your account and in specific folders. If you go through this, you can decide if you want your inbox emptied out daily, weekly, monthly, or never, and you can do this for other folders as well. Our last category is groups. If you're emailing a group, or if you want to send an email to all of the students in your teams and you're using that collective email, you can request that the email is sent to you as well. We're going to take a minute to see what some of these settings do in our emails. So we're going to close out and we're going to start a new message. In your new message, At the bottom, you can click the ... the ellipsis. Look through these options as well. So you can set importance. You can change the importance to high, and it'll be sent with an exclamation mark in the subject line. If you'd like more options, you can show message options. You can select a sensitivity if you need to send information that's private or confidential. You can tag that. You can request a read receipt so that when the person receiving the email opens it, you'll be notified that they have opened it. You can request a delivery receipt. When the email has reached the recipient's inbox, you'll receive a message that it's been received, though not opened. You can encrypt this message if you need to, or you can digitally sign this message if it's an official document. Now we're going to look at some of the settings in an email that's been sent to us. So opening up any email, you'll click the ... the ellipsis once again, and then you have lots of options here. You can reply by scheduling a meeting. If you reply by scheduling a meeting, it's going to open up Calendar, and it gives you the option to create an event that will be shared with all of the people in the email. You can choose to view just this email with the light background if the dark isn't working for you, or vice versa. You can also show an immersive reader. This will read the email to you. You can change the font size. You can change all the different options. Maybe you want to see nouns as they're read off. They'll be highlighted for you. All right, we've gone through all of the settings available in Outlook. So we're going to switch gears a little bit and move into Calendar. Down in your bottom left-hand corner, you can click the calendar icon. This pulls up your calendar. If you look on the left-hand side, you can see other potential calendars. You can turn on United States holidays. You can turn on birthdays so that you're notified of all your contacts' birthdays. You can also go look in groups and turn on calendars for specific groups. So now I'm going to show how to schedule an event. So if you know you have an appointment coming up, select the day. If you click it once, it highlights the day. It shows you in the left-hand side the current day versus where you're scheduling. If you double click, it's going to open up the scheduler. Every event needs a title. If you'd like, you can invite attendees. They'll get an email asking if they would like to attend this event. You can change the date, set the hours, set it to all day. You can set up recurring events. You can tag a location so that people can put that into their GPS if that's not something they're familiar with. You can also set alerts so that you're never late for meeting. You can add a description. If you're setting up a Zoom meeting, you can put that information in there so that it's secure and only the people who will be attending have access to that. Once you're done, you can click Save, and then that event is shown on your calendar. One really great feature of Calendar is that you can create and share calendars. So we're going to go to the left and click Add Calendar. You have lots of different options for creating a calendar. We're just going to create a blank calendar. This can be your personal information. Maybe you're going to create a team calendar. If you want to schedule a class calendar that all of your students have access to, this is where you can do that. So we're going to name our calendar. You can change the color if you would like it to look a little different. And you can change the charm, the icon that's going to appear beside it on your big calendar. So we'll make this one just something different. You're going to choose where you want it to go. You have My Calendars as a default because it belongs to you. Some of you may see other options. You could have the option to add to groups, or you could have a shared option. As long as it's in My Calendars, you'll be able to share it, add information, and give people permission to access it whenever they'd like. So we're going to click Save. It says that the test calendar has been created, so we're going to close it out. Now we're going to schedule a new event. So we're going to double click the day that we want to schedule it, and now notice that right above the title you can select which calendar you want it applied to. You have the regular calendar, which is what everybody has standardly, and then you have the calendars you've created. So we're going to schedule something in Test Calendar. We're going to title our event. You can invite anybody you'd like. You can change the date just as before. All of the features are the same, except now it's going in its own specific calendar. So we're going to save this event, and now we can look at our calendars in different ways. Maybe we have a lot of stuff scheduled for this month, so we're going to turn off some of these other calendars. So we're only looking at the specific group that we're working with. The last thing we're going to look at is how to share our calendar. So we're going to go over to the left-hand side. We're going to select the calendar we want to share, and we're going to click the little ... the ellipsis. We're going to go up to Sharing and Permissions. You'll enter the email of the person you want to share your calendar with, and then you're given a drop-down for all of the different ways that you can share. So starting at the top, if you select Can View When I'm Busy, they'll only be able to see blocks of time that you're unavailable to meet. This would be a great way to schedule parent meetings or group meetings that are outside of your teams. The next option is can view titles and locations. So this would be that people could know where you are and what you're doing, but not any specific details. The third is can view all details. So they can click the event on your calendar and pull up and see all the information available. And then the last option is that they can edit. So they have full access to this calendar, can share events, can put their own events on it, can modify yours. This is what you would want to do for a team calendar, but you probably wouldn't want to do that for a classroom calendar. You wouldn't want kids to be able to change the dates or events going on. So, depending on who you're creating this calendar for, will determine what kind of option you'll wind up selecting. Once you've selected it, we'll click share, and then now you'll have a running list of everybody that you add to this calendar.